All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the pre-market show. I hope everyone's having an amazing morning and hope you had a great day yesterday. Good morning, Norm. How are you doing today?
Hey, good morning, Carlos. I'm doing great. It's my son's first day of preschool, so I was a little bit late this morning. Nice to not have a massive gappers list.
Yes,
How are
yes,
you?
agreed. Doing good, man. Doing good. My daughter doesn't start till about another week or two or so. Her birthday's coming up end of this month, so I'm excited for that. So again, just a lot of good things happening. So that's a good thing.
I
All right, guys.
apologize
Let's.
that my phone was not muted there. So,
What was that?
I said I apologize.
Oh,
My phone was not muted.
we barely heard anything. Let's look at our gappers list today. As Norm mentioned, we do not have a huge gappers list like we have in the past. And most of these have news behind it. Norm has done some check on them. So we'll fly through these and see what we can find this morning. With that said, let's look at our list from yesterday. We did have some pretty good ones that traded here. Let's start with Coles. This was the one that actually I was really impressed the way this continuation went right into the market open. Again, you had a beautiful pre-market action right in here, also a beautiful downtrend. And at the open, you kind of get the same situation going here, right? You cannot get above the VWAP, starts getting very weak here. Cannot get above some of the levels that we had low of the pre-market high of the day. And it just continues to drop here nicely. So again, it's kind of a slow drop. It took a while. You have to be patient, especially if you got in before this area here. It looked like it did not want to lose this 2024. That took some time, but eventually it did lose it, and you got rewarded pretty nicely if you held on, had a good entry, and was patient within this consolidation here. So, not an easy thing to do, especially on this stock, because this stock can be very wild sometimes and very choppy. Here's SRNE, another one that we had on deck. Again, this stock guys hit or miss. Yesterday had a great pre-market action. It did take off right off the bat. Beautiful open range breakup with a pullback here. But again, it's a tough stock to trade. I was not able to get a good entry on it. So again, you can see here popped up, did reject the highs of the pre-market in this area here, comes right back down. But again, a tough stock to trade, but some possible opportunity for scalping here. Walmart did not do any better than it did the day before. Again, better pre-market action,
Um,
great pre-market action actually. And just at the open, it just flops. I mean, it doesn't
there's too many
really.
market makers in that stock for it to
Yeah,
trade well.
I mean, I did not expect that. I thought it would have been a better trading stock, especially with this type of pre-market action. But here, guys, it's just nothing happens. As you mentioned, Norm, just too many big players in that for it to even trend nicely. Here's Home Depot again, good pre-market action. It did get a nice drop, so you had just pretty much a very early on opportunity here. Then after that, it really doesn't do much. You do get a pullback to the VWAP, you get another drop here. But again, a tougher stock to trade. Also, it didn't really move in one direction or the other. Nvidia, on the other hand, this was an amazing drop here, guys. Look at this beautiful opportunities you have here. You have an open range breakdown on the 5. You have a potential ABCD pattern forming. This looks better on the 1 minute. It's just an amazing drop, losing some key levels here. The low of the day here, again, the low of the day one more time, and this time that 493, you get a real nice drop once it breaks down from that level towards these levels down here. So again, pretty interesting day for Nvidia. The first hour, 30 minutes or so, were pretty nice here towards the downside. Then you got a bit of a reversal, not much continuation after it hit this level again, this 489. But overall, great opening start for Nvidia yesterday. Here's SQ. We had some good trading days. Yesterday was not one of them. Probably some scalping opportunities, but aside from that, this thing was very choppy, guys. The price action was not as clean. And again, it did not have an amazing pre-market action, but we were watching this for a possible continuation. Normally, this type of pre-market action we would not have on our list as the watch list for the market open. So. Either way, we have some pretty good ones on there if you're able to take advantage. Now, keep in mind, guys, we are in August, so things, as Nor had mentioned, I think yesterday or the day before, things are a little bit slower when it comes to volume. You're not going to get these great moves. And I was talking to a trader yesterday. We're going back and forth. He had an amazing July, and now in August he's kind of struggling a little bit. And the reason for that could be your
Oh, yeah.
expectations. They got to change. Expectations got to shift. And for the new traders, once you start trading past a year, you have 2 years under your belt or so, you're going to realize some of the cycles that we go through, right? Not saying that there's not good opportunities, but there's not as many. And sometimes you're not going to get those beautiful, $2 or $3 runs where you see everybody's just getting a trade and it just seems to run forever. You might not get that. So being a little quicker on your partials, a little quicker on your targets might be the way to go during this time of the year.
I can
Um,
echo that. Just from
yeah.
my own personal experience back in the past, I remember a while back, it was my first year that I was trading a lot. Not necessarily every day, but I had a really good spring. And then all of a
Hmm.
sudden, like late May, early June came, and I had this terrible slump for, I don't know, a while. And then I
Hmm.
finally realized it was just the normal summer doldrums that crept into things. And so, I've heard traders that intentionally, whether it's, the holiday weekend to start the summer, Memorial Day weekend, or whatever it is, somewhere in there, they intentionally either take money out of their account to lessen their size if they've got a big account, or they, take smaller shares, or they adjust maybe a profit goal, daily profit goal, because it's just not going to give it up every day.
Hmm. Agree 100%. So it's just be mindful of that, guys, because that can be frustrating, especially if you're starting out and your first month was July and you had a killer July, and now you're kind of seeing some of the stuff not working out as great. It's not you. It could be the market, the way things are trading. With that said, let's see what the market has for us again this morning. Going to the market pulse.
Yeah, so SPY closed above the all-time closing high. We've made new highs. We are officially done with the confirmed that the bear market ended back in March at the bottom, which I believe was well, I don't believe it was the fastest bear market of all time with 30, and I think it was 33 days. And now we've confirmed we're back into a bull market. So not that that means a whole lot necessarily at this point. Anything could happen with what we got going on in 2020, murder hornets, COVID, everything else, riots. But all that having been said, this morning, SPY's relatively flat. Not a whole lot going on today. We've got some earnings and some news on these individual stocks. We'll try to determine what's in play. But as I've mentioned and as I've been preaching, I'm watching RVOL very, very closely to see if anything is truly in play. Even some of those stocks like Walmart we were discussing had high RVOL despite being difficult to trade. Uh, you know, um, anyway, news-wise, today, FOMC minutes from their last meeting will come out this afternoon at 2 p.m. It'll be interesting to see what they say, what their opinion is on what's going on. I don't think anybody anticipates any hint of raising rates or anything like that. Not a chance. But we've also got a San Francisco Fed president speaking at 1 p.m. Eastern. And then at 3 p.m., the Richmond Fed president will be talking as well. Then we start getting into more data tomorrow and Friday.
All right, excellent, Norm. Thank you. All right, guys, let's get into the gappers list here this morning. Let's remove what we have on our list from yesterday. Oops, hit the wrong button there. Delete this, and let's make some room for what we are going to watch today. At least starting to get to put on our list here. So MNTA, this one right now up 69%. So you got a nice gap up on this one. Looks like a buyout off the bat here. Again, you got a one candle here popping up to 52.15, and then pretty much flat with some incredible volume. So typically that's a buyout. Norm, let me know if you agree with that, if you confirm, and then we'll move on to
It
the
is a
next one.
buyout. It's
Hmm.
J&J's buying them out in a all cash deal. So
Yeah.
nothing to see here.
Yep. So let's move on to the next one. NMPR, excuse me, MNPR. This one here up 28%. Guys, I'm not liking the daily at all. I mean, just look at this daily, how nasty this is. Gaps up, sells. You have a couple of all red days in here. Just look at the days in between here. And let's look at the volume. What is this? Let me zoom in so we can get away from that 6 million shares day. We had 180, 80, 81,000, 90,000 of volume. This is not something you want to be involved with. It is trading nicely today, 560. That's a lot of volume for them pre-market, as you can see, but a 2.5 million shares flow and not looking good. So whatever, even if they have some crazy news, this is not one that I'm gonna be watching.
It's a biotech, and they've got a triage test for COVID. So um, It does have a catalyst, but I mean, the low float style I won't be trading it personally. I'm sure somebody out there will make a fortune on it.
Yeah, yeah, we'll skip on this one. Target here this morning, they're looking pretty good. This is a great pre-market action for Target. They don't trade like this unless they have some good news here. What's the latest and greatest with these guys?
Target, oh man, they knocked it out of the park. They had earnings, and they just crushed earnings. So getting paid well on the news of what they did. They even had a high expectation. Analysts had high expectations. They still crushed it.
Wow. Target definitely killing it this morning, guys. Up 7%, 1.8 million shares traded. Again, that's amazing volume for this type of stock. Usually does not trade a whole lot, but today could be a one of those heavier trading days when it comes to volume. GRWG. Now this one was active a couple of weeks ago. What did it actually yesterday, not a couple of weeks ago, yesterday. Let's go back and see how it traded. And this was my concern on this. I didn't watch the price action, but again. Yesterday, you already had a couple of days that were very extended. It had some pretty good green days in here. And I figured yesterday would have been choppy, and you can see that on here. It's just a bunch of chop. It does settle down later on around 11:20. Looks like you get a nice little drop here. But overall, I can imagine this was difficult to watch the price action if anybody saw it. I wonder how that did. But again, not a fan of this stock at the moment, guys. Also, pre-market action, you do have some volume here. You're up another 7%, but is it going to trade clean at the open? If it trades cleaner later in the day, then yeah, it could be something you have as a possible. Then you can move up. But for the most part, this is not looking all that good right now. Um, let's take a look at Kodak this morning. KODK. They are still struggling. They're down quite a bit from these highs over here at 60. Obviously, they had a crazy pop. And as you know, guys, a lot going on with this stock. Norm touched on it yesterday a little bit. Again, they're continuing to just chop around between this $6 and looks like $10 or so. Again, I won't be touching this, guys. More of a low flow stock. I know it's sitting at 57 million shares float. I think the stock trades even lower than that, and we see how this type of stock can trade. So I'm going to skip on this one. Let's move down to what's gapping down this morning. GLPG, what do we have here? Doesn't look great right now. Huge gap down this morning.
This is a
28.
biotech out of Belgium.
Hmm.
They've got a drug that they partnered with on which is it? Yeah, it's Gilead. So my disappointing stock of all time that I've told you guys about. So
Yeah,
they
yeah.
had a drug they were coming out with. The FDA is not approving. They rejected it. It's a arthritis drug. And so that's what's gapping down both Gilead and Galapagos. But Galapagos is a Belgish.
Hmm.
I just invented I apologize to everybody from Belgium, and we do have members from Belgium. So it is a biotech out of Belgium. If I was going to trade this, I would probably go the Gilead route, but even that is a terrible stock. So both of them probably pass.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Yeah, so we'll skip on that one. And actually, Belgium, they make my favorite beer, Stella. So love them. All right, guys, let's look into something else here. Let's skip on this one. A great question I want to answer here. Someone's asking, how do you find out if there's stocks for short on Dash Trader Pro? So if you look at this S, look at my cursor up here. This S will tell you if you have inventory for short. So if you click on this, if you double click on this too, there should be a pop-up that comes up and it'll tell you, how much inventory you have available for short. Usually you want a high number here. If you see something like 500, 300, that might not be available by the time the market opens. So you want to always have a very big number here. Like for example, this one is not a whole lot. If they get a whole lot of volume on this stock, it might not be there by the time of the market opens. So that's
Can
how
you
you
point
find that
out on
out.
your screen? So it's if you're watching the screen share in the room, it's hard to see because it's under some of the controls. But pull your montage over if possible,
Oh yeah,
and show them
yeah,
where that S shows up. It's
yeah.
hard to
Let me
see.
let me bring that over. Hold on a second so you guys can see.
While
Uh,
he's doing that, I'll answer a question real quick
yeah.
too. Somebody's asking on YouTube why it's not good to trade buyouts. So specifically an all cash buyout, essentially, unless there's some maybe a hint of a bidding war on that stock, the stock's going to pop up to the price of the confirmed buyout price and just sit there. Is kind of how that works.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
it just doesn't move. unless there's some other kind of news going around along with it. So usually we just toss them out the window. If it's a stock deal, generally that stock will pop up to whatever price, and then it'll trade in, in tandem with whatever company's buying them. Give me just a second while you go through this other one. I gotta
Yeah.
take care of my dog.
No problem. So here, guys, this little S right on here will tell you if it's not shortable, this S won't be here. So that's what you could tell if you have a inventory for short. And yes, someone mentioned you can. There are some brokers. IB, unfortunately, they don't allow you to locate stocks for short. So Interactive Brokers doesn't. But I know other brokers do allow you to locate stocks for sure. You can pay a bit of a premium for anything that's hard to locate, and if they have it, you can be able to short those stocks. All right, next one on the list, guys, BMRN. This one is very active this morning, down 24%. I like the pre-market action here right now. This is a biotech company, but has a good, decent pre-market action. My concern here will be the spread. Right now, I'm seeing about 25 cents, 20 cents at some times here. So that'll be concerning a little bit here on how that's going to actually trade. So, but it's interesting drop here. I wonder if this is also on that news that Norm was talking about earlier. So I'm going to put it on here, BM. All right, and we'll take a look at that in a second. Float on this one's 179, but again, be mindful of the ATR. Some of these candles are about $2 a pop, so that's a big move on a stock that's sitting at a 90 bucks. Next, we have VIPS. This one we have looked at in the past. What's going on with them? They're down 14%, 500,000 shares traded. I do like the pre-market action at the moment. Good spread so far, 5 cents. Hopefully that can get better at the market open. Oh, that's not good right there. It's about 14 cents. So that's not too good when he jumped there. So again, I like the drop here. The day looks okay. I think this is worth adding. 129 million shares flow. I think it's a good one to add here. And we have traded this one in the past. Just can't remember how clean it was or if it was choppy. But I know we have had this in the past plenty of times. SRNE continues to be on our list. They are now gapping, after gapping up a couple of days, they're now gapping down 11%, 11.2. Again, they just continue overall on this downtrend. You had a decent bounce back day 2 days ago. This would have been Monday. Yesterday, kind of a pop, but then with a gap up, a pop, but then right back down. And so they were gapping down. So again, kind of testing a lot of these levels we have here of support and resistance. I do like that there. I'm going to add it on here. Again, it's just got to be careful with this one. You cannot overstay your welcome because it changes direction very quick. But again, good pre-market action. I think they're going to continue to be on our list for a while here. Here's TJ Max, TJX. So this one here, it is down 5.3. Looks like earning this morning, Norm, on this one. The way we're getting this
Yeah,
type
they
of
had.
volume. Mhm.
Yeah. TJX had earnings. Let me look at my notes again here. They actually, I saw two things. It was weird, and I didn't have time to really dig into it. So some of the data shows that their loss was worse than expected, and their revenues were worse than expected. And then I read an article, and it's kind of, I've seen it a few times, especially in this earnings season, because estimates are all over the place. That one article, you have to be real careful, because one article says, that they were better than expected results, and then you look at the results compared to a number like if you go to Earnings Whispers, they're worse. So it's confusing as can be, and so that
Yeah.
trade the price action. That's a good reason why.
Absolutely. So again, these guys are active today, guys. Definitely on the list this morning. Let's add them on here, TJX, and see what kind of action we're going to get here. Hopefully they're not choppy, but again, we have traded these guys in the past. Typically it does not trade a whole lot of volume here, but let's see, today could be the difference maker. Here's Guild. So as Norm mentioned today, they have some bad news, obviously gapping them down 3.5 this morning. I do love the gap down today. Great pre-market action. This stock usually doesn't have an amazing pre-market action, but today's going to be the difference maker with that type of news. Already bouncing back quite a bit, actually. This thing was down at 64, and that's the low of the pre-market, and we're already starting to head towards the top here. So I wonder how much juice it has to get back into this trading range, or are we going to bounce around today? So I think Gilead, I'm going to add it here. I might move it down as a possible because, again, as we mentioned before, this stock could be a little bit difficult to trade intraday, so you want to be cautious with that one. All right, another one popping up here, FUTU. We have looked at this one in the past. Interesting daily. I like the support that we're getting here. We tested that over at least 5 days at the moment. What's prior resistance and pre-market right now looks okay. So yeah, I like what I'm seeing here. Spread is not bad at all. Let's add this on here for now. We'll see what we can get going there. All right, Norm, what do you like this morning?
Um, I mean, not much, to be frank. It's probably all going to come from this list unless I find something else or somebody
Mhm.
throws something out. Um, most of all, probably lows. Nvidia reports tonight. That might be an interesting thing to keep on watch. Uh, they had a good breakdown yesterday, but it seems like they're
Yeah.
coming back a little bit this morning from previous day close. What was the other one? Apple's flat, but I'm guessing we'll get some kind of move out of it. So
Yeah, I do like Nvidia today. Again, great day yesterday. Decent sell-off at the open, like you mentioned. But again, guys, this stock has been strong, so you're gonna get some pullbacks. I mean, this thing is hitting all-time highs, and the way it's doing it too, it's not just crawling its way and falling into all-time highs, pushing through and making some pretty good new highs in here. So a bit of a pullback yesterday. Today we are slightly up, or yeah, slightly up a little bit, not by much. So this could be maybe a possible. Doesn't have a great pre-market action, maybe a possible to look into to see how we're going to trade into their earnings coming up. All right, let's take it to the room. Let's start with BPB Trader. So he has lows here, LOW this morning. They are just continue to slowly grind higher, guys. The stock has been, as we mentioned, doing very well. Right now, the pre-market actions, again, really all over the place on this one. 406, they were somewhat active yesterday. Let's see how they actually traded. Yeah, so you did had a pretty similar to Home Depot. So you had a little bit of a drop here. Not anything all that exciting. You have to be very patient on this one to try to catch any double bottoms or anything like that. Um, Possible, guys. I'm not a whole big fan of what I'm seeing on it at the moment. Let's take a look at all right, we got some cruise lines. I'm sorry, airlines here. American Airlines, UAL. Let's take a look at those, see what's happening there. So UAL, see what's going on. I don't see a whole lot of volume right now, guys, on United Airlines, American Airlines, also very light at the moment. 700,000 for American Airlines is, I don't want to say it's nothing, but it's almost like nothing because this stock usually trades 2 million shares in the pre-market when it is in place. So I'm not seeing anything all that great right now. Let's look at Walmart. We're getting that on the list here. So Walmart right now, pretty much flat at the moment, guys. Again, you do have a little bit of volume here, 148,000, but I'm not seeing a great pre-market action, which you're not going to get from Walmart anyways. But we had better pre-market action the last couple of days, and it didn't do all that well. So I expect today is going to be probably even worse than it was yesterday. That's just my thoughts on that. HD similar to Lowe's, guys, not doing much right now, even less volume at the moment. Let's look at Target we have. That's good. Let's take a look at what else. LITB. This one here, popping up 38%. What kind of float do we have for this? More of a penny stock though, guys. I'm just looking at the price action now on the daily. They've been
that
hanging
is a
around under a
penny stock
dollar.
through and through.
Yeah, so it's a penny stock. It is a higher flow stock at 105 million. But again, more of a penny stock. So I'm going to stay away from this one.
Did you
All
look
right.
at Workhorse?
No, we did not, but I see somebody mention that on here. Let's
Yeah,
take a
we've got
look.
a lot of people mentioning it. They're
Mhm.
trading higher on some unusual options activity to the upside, so that might be in
Gotcha.
play. It's got a lot of
Uh,
volume.
yeah, it's got a great volume, 253. The pre-market is not all that great right now, but I like the daily though. Look at the daily. We broke out finally. I mean, we've been watching this stock over a couple of weeks, really. We had some pretty good moves coming in here when some good volume was coming in, and you had some pretty great intraday trades here. Just amazing. And then it just became very, very choppy. And the last couple of days has been
Yeah,
really choppy. Just look at the range here, guys. You're not moving.
except for yesterday. Had a
Except for
massive day
yesterday.
yesterday.
Yeah, had a good day yesterday. Let's see how that traded. Let's scroll
Pop
back over here.
volume popped up some yesterday. It
Yeah,
might continue. It's got a decent sized short float. It's not
yeah.
huge, but
So I like it.
um,
I like the way we're breaking finally out of this area from yesterday. Possible continuation today, or at least more volume, more activity, one way or the other. So yeah, I do like Workhorse today. We'll put this on here. WKHS. All right, let's head on down. What else do we have? I am IMVT. What is this one? Not liking the pre-market action on this one, guys, at all. No volume, so we'll skip on that one. Scroll down, scroll down. All right, another airline here. Love. What's the deal with Love today? I'm not seeing a whole lot, but they just announced they're not taking a government loan. That's interesting. But again, not seeing a whole lot right now, even with that news. So we'll have to keep an eye on it, see if it hits our scanners. Let's take a look at our YouTube chat. Let's start with Michael here. Actually, Michael is one of my old co-workers. I know Michael for 12, actually no more than that, probably 18 years. So thank you for joining the pre-market show, man. Appreciate it. Actually,
Is he the one
Norm,
that
he's the
thought
one
I
that
lived in
when
Jersey?
when we went to lunch, he's like, where's Norm? I'm like, no, Norm is in Texas.
I'd be
uh,
committing a felony right now if I were in Jersey.
that's right. That's absolutely right. Here's P-Town, guys. So this one, at the moment, not a whole lot of volume. I see what you're looking at, Mike. You got some good pop here yesterday. How they actually trade at the moment. Yesterday took off. Look at this pre-market. Nothing going on here. And yesterday just takes off. I mean, it's just this is one of those hit or miss. It could do the same thing today, but I highly doubt after a big day like this, you're going to get some continuation here unless there's some kind of news. So I'm on the fence on this one. I'll put it as a possible for now, but again, on the fence. It has to hit some kind of scan or something. This might not even stay here. Let's take a look at it. Silver. So we usually don't take a look at silver, guys. I know it's been very active over the last couple of days. So has gold, but for the most part, it's not something I put on my list. ORCL, Oracle. Oracle, guys, we know very well it doesn't trade clean. It is a very choppy stock. Yesterday, you did get some pop here. I'm not sure if they had any news yesterday, but for the most part, this stock doesn't trade very well. Look at the volume yesterday. That is where you had a nice day. You had a nice pop up here. Maybe they had earnings. I don't remember from yesterday, but again, I don't expect this continuation to go well for them today. CLSK. I see a few people mentioned. Oh, it's just the same guy here. No volume, guys. I'm going to skip on this one. The day looks interesting. I see what you're looking at here, but just no volume at the moment. LITB. Oh, we looked at that one already. I'm going to skip on that one. That one doesn't look good. And let's look at HUD. HUD at the moment, buyout, pretty flat pre-market action. You got some volume.
Looks like it.
Yeah,
I
it
don't
looks
know
like a
that.
buy. I won't be surprised. And even if it isn't, I mean, guys, this does not look good at all. And the reason for that is if you just look at the numbers here,
Yes.
up 48%, 670. That
Or
looks good, right? Go ahead.
it's either a buy. It's a company out of the UK, and it's either going private or it's a buyout. So nothing to see here on HUD.
Yeah, so this is not looking good. So again, you look at the numbers real quick and you say, "Hey, this looks great. What's going on here? I want a piece of this." But it's really nothing that's going to be tradable, at least for our type of trades. All right, we have again not the best list, guys. I admit we have better than this before in the past, but let's see how things get better closer to 9:30. At the moment, this is not the great list. We have a few that are looking okay and very decent, and it's okay. Sometimes having a smaller list, it's better than having a whole bunch of options. I actually rather have less options than this giant list that you don't know where to look to. So, with that said, let's go to our community announcements, and we'll come back and fine tune things.
All right, guys. Success webinar tonight. I had to look at the date. I can't believe it's almost September.
Yes.
Tonight is Creata talking about finding your middle edge, how to think and trade like a professional athlete to gain a mental edge in the markets. Phenomenal psychologist, trading coach. So look forward to seeing that this evening. And then next week, next Wednesday at 8 p.m. is going to be our own very own member Nas that's going to be talking about or Nas, I don't know, maybe he's a rapper as well, recovering from a series of losses and experienced traders rehab guide. Guys, everybody goes through drawdowns at some point in your trading career. It's extremely helpful to hear from other traders that have experienced them, figure out how to recognize before it's too late and you get hit too hard, and how to pull yourself out of them, which I know Nas is successfully done. So he's also a good friend of mine. So look forward to hearing that one as well. Then our next psychology webinar, we've had a rest on these as we've kind of redone things in the psychology center for a couple of weeks, but back in full force next Tuesday, the 25th, 8 p.m. is going to be Nada talking about cultivating self-discipline with mindfulness. Member trade of the day, guys. We are 2 days down, 2 days to go. So Monday through Thursday, take a screenshot in maybe a time frame or two of your best trade of the day. Mark it up with your info on your setup, why you took the trade, what your indicators were, why you entered where you did, where you got out. Any information you can give is always very helpful. On the chart, tag @BearableTraders, @MikeB_BBT, and @NormBBT. Also use the hashtag BBT family. We will pick one winner each day. Mike will announce them in the closing bell show that we simulcast on YouTube every day, 3:30 to 4:15 p.m. Eastern, Monday through Thursday. And then on Friday, he will announce the winner from the Monday through Thursday of those four. He'll pick the winner. That person will get the $100 gift card from Amazon. If you're watching us on YouTube and haven't been in the chat, you'd like to try it out, you are welcome to use the discount code PREMARKET24. That'll give you a discount off the price of the intro. The intro membership is 7 calendar days, 5 trading days, unless there's a holiday in there. It does not auto renew, or turn into a different kind of membership or anything. It's just 7 days. That's it. Gives you all access to Carlos's onboarding class each and every Monday night at 8 p.m. as well. If you're looking to upgrade your membership or become a lifetime member, you can get 35% off right now with the promo code LABOR35, LABOR35. That'll get you 35% off the one-time lifetime membership.
All right, thank you, Norm. Actually, let's go right into our member trade of the day for yesterday. It goes to Mr. Spock 74. So he had, and this is a tough trade, guys. He had an amazing trade. I believe it was on SE. And again, SE, if you missed the entry he got, there's no way you would have gotten a great opportunity. You would have been chopped around. But his entry was so well timed, right on there. You can see as soon as he makes a beautiful pop towards the top, he takes a partial, another pop. He's taking partials on as soon as he breaks the high of the day. He took a partial there, and then as he goes up towards the top, continues to sell into strength. So that's a good strategy to sell into strength. And this is exactly what we're talking about during this time of the year, guys. When things are a little bit slower, you're not going to get some crazy moves that you normally would in a trade like this. So taking advantage of those small movements, it's very key during this time of the year. So you can see he leaves a little bit here just in case it's going to run, and then he caps it off here at his break-even point. It's good to do that once in a while, because you never know, things might bounce and you might get a runner, and that a small amount can actually become a decent partial for you towards the top there. So great job there on the member trade of the day. So with that said, guys, let's go take a look at our list. And Mr. Spock, I can't do this no. I don't know if you could do this thing. My fingers just don't work. But
this, I've never seen an episode of the
wow,
show longer than 2 minutes and change the channel, but I can do it.
I'm not a fan either, but yeah, I cannot do it. All right, guys, let's take a look at this list. Let's scan through it first before we jump into levels. Target is great, guys. Probably one of the best pre-market activities that we have this morning. One of the best stocks on this list is this one right now. VIPS also looks pretty good. I like the pre-market action at the moment. The spread jumped up a bit to about 14-20 cents for a $20 stock. That's quite high. So hopefully that continues to get better, but the volume is good, and the volume is well spread out on this, which I like, right? You're not just getting a whole bunch of volume in one candle, except for this one, which might be some transactions being recorded at 8 o'clock. Overall, the volume is well spread out. You have a nice drop here, and we have traded this in the past. Unfortunately, I cannot remember if it was a good trading stock or not. SRNE, guys, at the moment is getting some good volume. 1 million shares dropped here at 9 a.m. So again, you got some heavy volume coming in through here. Are we going to get another bounce back day today? We gapped down before 2 days ago. We were able to end the green day. We're gapping down now today, and it looks like we want to bounce from here. So let's see what kind of action we're going to get on SRNE. The volume already 3 million shares traded at the moment. So we'll keep an eye on this one. TJ Maxx, I'm on the fence on this one because we traded this one in the past. I know it can be choppy. They have some great volume right now. Again, they had earnings this morning. Let's see how this is going to open up. This is one that might be choppy at the open. You might need to wait a little bit for it to settle down. So if you see things moving all over the place, just wait a couple of minutes until it settles down. Gilead actually has a good pre-market activity as well this morning. So again, nice drop here. They usually do not trade very well. Today could be the difference because they're down pretty good here, 4.8 with a catalyst behind it. So I want to have this on our list as well. FU2U, also decent pre-market action. Spread right now looks decent, 5 cents, not bad for the pre-market. What I like about this too is the daily, guys. If we can lose this area of support here, this 33, we can get some opportunity towards the bottom. And also if we bounce from here, we got some possibilities. The key thing is when we start playing around with these levels that have been a great area of support or resistance, you are going to get some volume and momentum one way or the other. And I also like Workhorse. I think we're going to do levels for all of these here because they all look pretty good this morning. Workhorse finally breaking out of this area of choppiness here. Had a good day yesterday. Can that continue today into some of these higher levels? All right, let's do levels, guys. Let's start with target high of the pre-market sitting over here at 150.33. So we'll mark that down. And I believe that is all-time high, right? I don't think we have been higher on target. Yes, it's all-time high. It's incredible how many companies, even after dropping drastically with COVID and everything, are now hitting all-time highs and killing it. So high of the pre-market 150.37. Towards the bottom, you really have no other levels other than down here around 138, 138.85. So we could look into our 5 minute here. We do have some levels here of support right on that 147, and then over down here you got like a step, right? You got like an ABCD pattern forming here on the way up. You can find some levels in between here, like this one here at 144. You're using it somewhat as resistance, you break out of that, then using it as support again. So I'm going to keep these two on there, guys. I think that's the best levels you can find in the 5 minute right now, and let's see if the pre-market is going to hold between these levels, head higher or lower on target. But again, good volume right now, a nice gap up for target. VIPS, I'm gonna mark this level here, guys, and the reason is because again, look at the bounce you got here, and now that you lost this 2039 level, you're getting a lot of volume. So that means this level is important to this. Actually, it is, because look at the daily. You can see the area of support that you're having here. So we just lost that, and you see the volume coming in, right? So that's going to be an important level. I know it's not the low of the pre-market yet, but you want to have this down, and the daily does confirm that now that I'm looking at it as well. The next level I see that's going to be major is this 1957 towards the bottom. You can see the great support that you had here on several days here, and also this bounce back day here after gapping down nicely. Does hit that 1957 and heads back up. So two great levels towards the bottom. Let's see where the pre-market ends. It did hit 20. Let's mark 20 for now. Let's see if that's going to be our pre-market low at the moment. Our pre-market high all the way up here, guys. I don't think we're going to get back over there, 25.48. But let's look at what's in between here. So we have a couple of days right on here. This 22.11, good area of resistance right on here. You can see the many times this thing was tested, and then after we break out of it, becomes support, right? So 22.11, good area there. And then above that, you have the highs and lows from the last two trading days. Looking at it here, you had a really good daily into this range here, and then here it just starts getting pretty choppy in this area. You see the difference of the candlesticks, but you still can find a level in here at 21.27. You have another area of resistance, right? The great resistance coming up here when it was trading a little bit better, and then it gets choppy. But even in this chop, you're still seeing several days opening and closing and banging their wicks against this 21.27. So I'm going to mark that down and keep it on there in case we decide to go north. That could be an area where we can have some kind of action being recorded there. So SRNE continues to be very active. High of the pre-market just booked a few minutes ago here when we dropped 1.3 million shares. 1192 is the high of the pre-market. Above that, you have the highs and lows from the last two trading days. Your low of your pre-market sitting at 1065, so we'll mark that. And then the low from 2 days ago over at 10. So SRNE has been very interesting, has dropped nicely here. Several days that it has dropped down to this 1065, 1 and 2, and here, and today pre-market so far, it has been able to bounce back up. So let's see if today we're going to see that repeat itself. TJ Maxx, guys, low of the pre-market at 53.70. That is also a great area of resistance. Look at the double top here on the daily, and then look at the breakout once we tested it for the third time. Beautiful breakout out of a 53.70. So I definitely want to keep that number on there. Low of the pre-market is a good one. Towards the bottom, if we were to lose that 53.70, 51.75 is a good one. You can see the area of support and resistance happening here. In between here, I know this looks choppy, but if you look closely, this 52.63, you can see several days doing the same thing, opening, closing, banging their heads against this 52.63. You definitely want to have that on there. I think that could be a minor support resistance level, aside from the two big ones, the 53.70 and the 51.75. All right, let's look towards the top level here at 55.51, and then you also have a great support here, 56.79, 56.69, excuse me. Look at a couple of 4 days here using that as major support when it was consolidating. If you go back over here, you have some areas also using that as resistance. I think could be a major or level for this stock if it does decide to go up. Right now, pre-market is pretty choppy at the moment, not doing much. Might not be one that stays on this list, but we're prepared for it in case it does do anything exciting. Gilead, guys, this one GILD is actually has a good pre-market action, which is normally not the case for this type of stock. High of the pre-market 66, 68. Let's bring this down right here. Oh, let's did that twice. Let's delete that one. 66, 68, high of the pre-market. The low we marked down already at 64, actually 63.98 to be exact. So we're kind of trading within this range near here. Towards the top, we do have the highs and lows from the last two trading days, but the low of this range where we've been consolidating is going to be that 67.92. So I'm going to mark that down just to have that on there. Towards the top, again, highs and lows from the last two trading days and previous day close. So do not need to add anything more up there. And then towards the bottom here, you do have some levels over at 62.85, a great area of support for November and January and February as well. So you want to mark that down also. Again, they have a negative catalyst today. Let's see how that is going to impact them this morning, but good volume, good pre-market action already. FUTU, this one is a pre-market action, very, very active, guys. We have some good support here, slightly above the pre-market lows at 33. 77, 72, excuse me, slightly below the pre-market low. So you can see on the daily a great area of support for the last 4 days. So that hopefully can create some action, either a bounce back or a drop here if we can lose that. Towards the bottom, you have some more levels down here at 31.40. Towards the bottom here, this is a little choppy in the daily here, so not the cleanest daily chart, but you can find some levels here, 26.54. You have another one here around 29.05 as well. Again, not great levels like we had on some other stocks where it's clearly being tested more than once or twice. But you do have some days opening and closing around these levels here. And then towards the top, you got this range and obviously previous day close and highs for the last two trading days. All right, last one on the list here, WKHS. Again, this thing started off with some good volume here. Has slowed down a little bit. Hopefully, can start picking up at the moment. 333,000 shares traded, which is still very decent for this stock. High of the pre-market, 1731. Above this, if we break out, we do have some levels here. We have hit some pretty good targets over at 1961. We have another one here at 2149 and over here at a 22.95. So again, some pretty good levels towards the top. This does have the potential to run. It has done it in the past. What I like about this one, guys, we finally broke out of this choppy area we had here, as I mentioned earlier. We had a good day yesterday. Do we have continuation today? Towards the bottom, highs and lows from the last two trading days. Oh, let's mark down the low of the pre-market right in here at 1627. And then below the highs and lows, we have one at 1342. So, all right, I think we have a decent list. I think some are moving pretty good right now in the pre-market. Others not so good, but they got some good catalysts behind it that can hopefully get us going here. All right, let's see what our moderators are watching this morning. We have John, high of day break. Obviously, with his top watch list is going to be Target. This looks like it might be a tough day. I agree. I agree. It's one of those days where it could be a hit or miss. We have some stocks again that have potential, other ones that don't look great that could still have a good catalyst and have potential. We'll have to see. We have to see how this thing is going to play out. Thor is watching Target, Apple, WKHS, and scanners. Mike is watching break of high of day, so no low of day for Mike today. He's watching his scanners, Target, and lows. Brian is watching VIPS, Target, HKS, and lows as well. Tiffany, Target, Gilead, and SRNE. Andrew's watching Apple for break of all-time high. So yes, guys, break of all-time high usually creates some good opportunities. So let's take a look at Apple here.
Got Apple on mine too. I forgot to put it on my list.
Yeah. Actually, Apple, just want to go here, guys. Apple does look great. Just look at the consolidation we're having here. Look at the nice pre-market, pretty decent pre-market action for the type of volume we're getting. So Apple is good. I might remove another one out of my list to make room for Apple. Usually when these stocks get to all-time high, all-time low, again, these levels, you're going to have a lot of volume pickup, a lot of momentum. And it seems like this split thing is working for these stocks. And then he's watching GRWG, Target, FUTU, BMRN, and GLPPG. Andrew definitely has a lot on his list today, as he mentioned there in the comments and the chat room. Norm has Target, you like Lowe's, TJX, and Workhorse, but I know you're adding Apple as well.
Apple and Nvidia I've got as well, yeah.
We had Nvidia in our possibles list, and that also was interesting for a possible continuation today. They had a big day 2 days ago, pullback yesterday, and possible continuation today. Peter likes Target, Lowe's, Gilead, his secondary Apple, TJX, AMD, and Workhorse. And Eamon likes Gilead, Target, BMRN. I believe that Owl is probably Lowe's, VIPS, and SR, any. VIPS, yeah, VIPS is good. I have that on my list too. It could
I
be
just want to
interesting.
say that I think it's illegal to put Gilead and like in the same sentence, but
I I so agree with you, man. 100%.
it's my personal grudge.
I agree with you 100%, guys. I think we have a pretty decent list, as we mentioned earlier at around 8:30. If you didn't join the show, keep in mind, guys, we're in August. Sometimes things don't move as we expect them, like they did in July or the previous month. We had a lot of volatility. The volume in the market's a little bit lower, so be mindful of that. Remember, we're our technical day traders. We're looking to take advantage of small opportunities. If you join our onboarding class, we talk about this. So if you haven't, give us a shot. Do the 1 week trial, and then join the onboarding class on Monday. We'll talk about certain things with the market and what kind of traders we are. It's very important to know what kind of trader you are, what you're looking for. You're not going to get those home runs every single day, and some months are worse than others. So take care, guys. Trade safe, and we will see you tomorrow at 8:30 Eastern time. Reminder: tonight is Wednesday, so it's webinar Wednesday. We have our success webinar with I believe it's Nada Norm. Correct me if I'm
No, it's
wrong.
Credo.
Crata, excuse me, Crata. So we have Crata today. I think it's mental mindfulness, if I'm not mistaken, of the title. But
No, that's
um,
you're all messed up
I'm
on that.
confusing. Am I
That's
confusing the?
the thinking like a professional athlete
Yes, there
to
we go.
find
Think
your
of
edge.
perfect. Thank you very much. So yeah, don't miss that today, guys. 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern time. So we'll see you there. Take care, guys.
Take care, guys. Trade safe.